Miss Mattie Merrywinkle, Chapter 15, Crying Over Spilt Milk. Mattie was getting a dab hand at this Zoom business now. She and Marigold chatted at least once a week and gradually filled in the gaps of the lives that they had missed out on. On the fourth week, Marigold had some news for Mattie. You know that author I talked about, the one who had written the book called The Cat's Whiskers? She's come back to me and said that she's very happy for me to use Gerald as the model for the cat. Isn't that exciting? What is? Crikey, I can't believe my Gerald is going to be famous. Well, I can't promise that. Kate's books have never reached the bestseller list, but there will hopefully be a fair number of small children who will enjoy reading about his adventures. If we get a move on, we might be able to get the book out in time for Christmas. Ooh, that would be lovely. I know. The thing is, I would need some more photographs to work from. It'd be helpful for me to know what he looks like, sleeping, stretching, climbing, and so on. And I know you wouldn't be able to do that for me, so I was thinking that I could maybe come up to Manchester for a day or two and see you both. The hotels are open again now, and I'd be able to stay close by. You could come and have a meal with me at my hotel one day, and then I could come over to you for a cup of tea another day and take my photographs. Do you need a bit of time to think about it? No, I don't. I think it would be lovely, something to look forward to. Oh, good. Leave it with me then, and I'll let you know which day I'll be coming. It'll probably be towards the end of next week. Mattie was fizzing with excitement. Thank goodness she'd finally managed to get an appointment for a haircut in 2 days' time, and her new cardigan was finished. It just needed sewing together. She no longer felt anxious about Marigold seeing where she lived, because she was such a lovely, down-to-earth kind of person. But she might just clear out that pile of newspapers from the settee and mop the kitchen floor, and the cardigan got finished in time, and Mattie even braved the bus into town to buy a new denim skirt to wear with it. This was necessary partly because she'd put on a little bit of weight during her isolation period when she couldn't go out cycling, and Winnie was ordering what she considered to be a reasonable amount of food for one person for a week, but mainly because the oranges and reds of the leggings she had inherited from Winnie's daughter clashed violently with the blues, greens and purples of her cardigan. She also bought those new knickers she'd been promising herself for some time. Mattie felt like royalty on the day she met up with Marigold for lunch in the hotel, especially as a cab was sent to collect her and bring her home again. She couldn't wait to phone her friend the minute she got home. Oh, I've had a lovely day, Winnie. Everybody was so kind to me. One waiter pulled out my chair and put a serviette on my lap, and another filled up my glass with water. I even had a small glass of wine and some lovely fish called Dover sole, and baby carrots still with their tops on, and peas so fresh that you could eat the pods as well, and a chocolate mousse that was so light it must have been made by angels. Oh, be quiet, woman. You're making me mouth water. And as if all that wasn't enough, our Marigold got an Hoover for me. She bought you a new vacuum cleaner? Oh, that was kind of her. No, not a Hoover, an Hoover. It's like a taxi. Oh, you mean an Uber. Oh, blimey. You're going to be too posh to talk to me from now on. Don't be daft. I'm talking to you now, aren't I? Anyway, she's coming in tomorrow morning, so I have to go now because I'm going to bake some scones. Right you are, love. We'll meet up after she's gone and you can tell me all about it. Bye. The only one to remain unimpressed was Gerald. He'd known something was amiss that morning when Mattie came downstairs looking smarter than he'd ever seen her, and had virtually ignored him while she made a cup of tea and some toast. Then he'd had to spend the best part of the day in the house on his own, and now it was past his dinner time, but Mattie was showing no sign of doing something about it. Instead, she was blathering on the telephone in a state of high excitement. Come to think of it, she hadn't been the same since that young woman had appeared on the screen in the middle of the living room table. He had no idea what was going on, but it all seemed like a lot of fuss about nothing to him. Needless to say, all that changed the next day when that young woman came to the house and made Gerald the centre of her universe for a few hours. She stroked his ears and told him how handsome he was and she brought along some special chicken treats, which went down very well. Then she started to take photos of him, even getting down on the living room floor at one point to get a better shot, and Mattie, who was busy buttering scones in the kitchen, wished she'd had a camera herself to record the moment for posterity. When Marigold's Uber arrived to take her back to the hotel, they were both somewhat emotional. They stood slightly awkwardly on the pavement outside Mattie's flat, having both made a concerted effort to maintain social distancing over the past 2 days. You've no idea how happy I am to have found you, Mattie. I was feeling quite down after Mum and Dad died within such a short space of each other, but now I feel like I've got a family again. It's such a shame I didn't know about you earlier. Oh, I know, love. I feel the same, but it's no use crying over spilt milk. We've found each other now, and that's the main thing. Can I hug you, Mattie? I'll understand if you'd rather not. I know I've been on trains and in hotels and... Oh, come here! They clung to each other for what seemed an eternity and a split second all at the same time. And then she was gone. Mattie waved until the car disappeared round the corner, then wiped her eyes on her sleeve. Cheer up, love, we'll all soon be dead. One of the cider drinkers, huddled in the alley next to the boarded-up betting shop across the road, raised his can in her direction. She raised her hand in reply. They were a harmless bunch, victims of circumstance mostly, killing time until they could go back to their hostel. Then she slipped back into the house, where Marigold's fragrance lingered still in the living room. Mattie sat on the settee, picked up one of the cushions, and hugged it to her. I'm not going to let you go this time, sweetheart, I promise.